Good afternoon, this is Media Center Ukraine, Odesa. We continue our next briefing. With our next briefing, and our current speaker is Tetyana Dementieva, Director of the Department of Social and Family Policy of Odesa Regional Military Administration. The briefing is dedicated to support for internally displaced persons in Odesa region. Good afternoon. I would like to share some statistics with you, and then information about novelties in the legislation with regard to support of IDPs. From 2014 to today, there are more than 224,000 people who are registered in the unified database of IDPs. More than 154,000 persons were registered as internally displaced persons in social protection bodies and in communities, and more than 30,000 of people registered through the DIA electronic portal. More than 112,000 IDPs receive housing assistance. As of today, Odesa continues accommodating IDPs. The relevant bodies provide us information about venues for such people. There are 10,000 places and almost 3,000 in the placement of compact accommodation. From the 6th of June, emergency evacuation of the civilian population suffering from flooded areas as a result of the detonation at the Novokakhovskaya HPP dam. 2,000 people have arrived today, including 1,500 people who are staying with their relatives in Odesa. 314 people were accommodated in contact centers. Other people traveled to other regions of Ukraine or left the territory of Ukraine. The support of these people is organized by the Odesa Regional Military Administration, especially when it comes about the accommodation of the evacuated civilians, Odesa Municipal Council, NGOs, and charitable foundations, including international foundations, who provide humanitarian aid to such people. Ukrposhta has also organized the support of the local population. This is a Ukrainian postal service that provided support to local people and initial humanitarian aid needed during the first period. And now I would like to share information about the amendments to the legislation with regard to support of IDPs. On the 11th of July, the government adopted the resolution, some issues of support for internally displaced persons, introducing changes to the procedure for awarding housing allowances for IDPs. Housing allowances is one of the most important tools for supporting IDPs. At the same time, this is one of the largest programs financed from the state budget. For the current year, 57 billion hryvnias is provided in the state budget for the whole of Ukraine. Currently, payments are being made for more than 2.6 million people. In order to update the conditions, the government adopted a resolution specifying the parameters for providing this support. In particular, from the 1st of August 2023, the payment of benefits will be automatically extended for another 6 months for all internally displaced persons residing in Ukraine. The amount of aid remains unchanged, 3,000 hryvnias for persons with disabilities and children, and 2,000 hryvnias for other persons. Payments will not be extended to persons who stay abroad for more than 30 calendar days without justified reasons which are confirmed by documents. Such reasons can include business trip or internship, undergoing treatment or rehabilitation, caring of a sick child or rehabilitation of a child, etc. Payments will not be extended to persons who returned to the abandoned place of residence. There will be no extension of payment to persons who are serving prison sentences or have been convicted of collaborationism. Please note that citizens don't need to take any additional actions to continue receiving such payments. Payments will be continued automatically. As of starting from the 1st of September, assistance will be extended for those citizens who require additional financial support. So those citizens whose financial conditions allows for substantial expenses without state assistance will not receive such payments. From the 1st of September, the payment will be stopped for those IDPs who, from the moment of adoption of this resolution, purchased a new vehicle which is less than 5 years, except for cars that were purchased by volunteers and transferred to the needs of the country's defense. Purchased a plot of land, an apartment or a house for more than 100,000 hryvnias, except for housing received at the expense of the state or local budget. Those persons who have funds in a deposit bank account in the total amount of more than 100 hryvnias, those who purchased foreign currency, as well as bank metals for a total amount for more than 100,000 hryvnias, and those who own houses located in territories other than those where active or possible hostilities are taking place, or which are occupied if such housing has an area of more than 13.65 square meters per family member. If, based on the results of checking the recipients through the state register, a decision is made to terminate the assistance, those citizens will be notified accordingly by the social parties. If citizens disagree with this decision, then can file a complaint or provide additional documents to continue receiving benefits. Please note that the resolution provides an opportunity to receive assistance for children who were born in the families of internally displaced persons after displacement. That used to be a big problem because it was impossible to receive financial support for such people, for such children. So if they have been registered and was in the new place of residence, they will be able to receive such support. Also, from now on, a person is able to remotely renounce the status of an internally displaced person without personally applying to the social protection body. And aid payments to internally displaced persons will be made twice per month, on the 15th and on the 28th of each month. Please note that the new criteria for receiving such assistance do not affect assistance received until the 1st of August 2023. Please also note that for IDPs who apply for assistance for the first time after the 1st of August 2023, the assistance will be assigned for 6 months per family and will be paid monthly to one of the family members, so the authorized person, from calculation for each family member. For such families, assistance can be provided to the family for one additional 6-month period if a family has children with disabilities, elderly people, persons who care for persons with disabilities, large families with 3 and more children under 18, minors and minor children who arrived unaccompanied by a legal representative if the total income per family member does not exceed 4 subsistence minimums. However, assistance will not be granted if, within 3 months prior to the application, one of a family member incurred significant expenses or paid for services in the amount of 100,000 hryvnias or more in one payment. This is the part of important criteria that I've covered before. This is the changes that we should expect when it comes to payments to IDPs from the state budget. Thank you. Thank you for being with us today. I have a question from a journalist watching us online. What is the difference between the places of accommodation for IDPs or compact places? When it comes to general accommodation places, these can be apartments or private sector. When it comes to compact accommodation, is where the places that have around 10-15 people. If there are no other questions, thank you very much for being with us today, and we will be pleased to invite you once again. Follow our announcements and stay tuned.